In this tutorial, we'll use AppLab with some random number generation to decide which of a number of images to use. So we are effectively making a random picture selector. I'm going to go to Create AppLab, and that'll load me a blank project. And what I want to do first of all is just to show what the options for my pictures are going to be. So I'm going to create the faces of a dice. So I'm going to start off in design view, and I'm going to put an image in. I'm going to stick it up in this corner here. Now my image is probably going to be quite small. It's going to be a picture of a number 1 on a dice face. To avoid problems with cross-site choices of images where they get blocked because you don't have permission, I'm going to try and get them from Wikimedia Commons. So I'm going to have a look for some dice faces, and there is a category called dice faces that has plenty of options available. I'm going to go for this one here, which is transparent, so dice 1B, and I should just be able to right click on it, copy image address, and then come back to my project and put that in to the image there. It's a bit on the large side, so I'm going to take its width down to 40 and its height down to 40, and that's probably a nice size to be able to fit maybe 6 across the screen there. It should be called image 1, so actually this is the one time when we're not going to change what the name is. Actually, maybe we will. Let's call it image dice 1. Always a good idea to rename your things so they don't get confused with other options. All right, so I'm going to take that and I'm going to duplicate it. And the duplicate, I'm going to move over just beside it. And I'm going to call it image dice 2. And obviously I need to change the URL. So I'm going to come back to here. I'm going to try and keep the same family of things. So that's dice-1-b. And this one is called dice-2-b. So that's the same family of images. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to come back here. I'm going to replace this image URL. Paste that in there. And that didn't work for me, so let me just try that again. Copy image address and paste it in there. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, I'm going to do one more just to show how this flow operates. I take my existing picture, I duplicate it in the design, I rename it immediately to something else, I move it into position about there, and then I change what it's referring to as an image. So here is dice 3B here. I'm going to right click on that, copy image address, and then come back and replace the URL here. So you can see I've gone the long-winded way of doing that this time. But I didn't need to open that up. I could just have put it into this box here and it would have worked just as well. Now I'm going to leave space for you to put in a 4, 5, and 6 dice for yourself because I'm going to go on with the actual coding parts of this. All right, what do I want to do? Well, I would like to have a roll dice button. So I'm going to put a button on here. It might be nice if it was the width of the screen, so I'm just going to stretch that up a little bit. And this is the button you click to be able to roll the dice. So it's going to be called button roll. Makes sense. The text on it should say click to roll the dice. And then we might want to just bump up the font on that so that it fills it nicely. And we're ready and good to go now. Okay, when I click the dice, I want one image of a dice to appear filling the screen. So I'm again going to put an image on here, but this time I'm going to give it a width and a height of 300. And you can see that's pretty much filling most of the phone's available screen size there. Okay. It would be nice if it started off with some useful kind of image. So I'm going to go back here to maybe something like this. Would be a useful image. Maybe something that's got a white background would be better, but that's from AliExpress. So yeah, I want to try and keep it to Wikimedia Commons. So if I look at this image here, that's probably on the huge side. In fact, it's far too big. So can I take just that version there, copy image address, and then paste it in here. Okay, so that's my default image when I when I run the application. That's what I'm going to see. I now need to add some code to my button. Okay, so go back to events here, insert and show code. When button roll is clicked, at the moment it will just tell me that it was clicked. And that's not much use to me. So what I want to do, working on things we've looked at before, is to create a variable. I want a variable, and I'm going to put it above here, and I'm going to call it rolled. What did I roll? Now, because this is a six-sided dice, we can just go straight into maths here, and we can choose a random number between 1 and 6. And then what I could do is I could console log what I actually rolled there. So if I delete everything that's in there and just put rolled so that it goes and tells me what's going on. When I run my program now, it's running, I click on this and it shows a 5, and then it shows a 2, and then it shows a 6. So it is able to choose numbers, but they're not really appearing here. I could put a label on and just write the number to the screen, but that's defeating the whole purpose of having images. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to control, and I'm going to think about the logic. And what I'm going to say is if then else. If I rolled a 1, I want to show this picture here. So how do I do that? Well, I need to have a comparison. I need to say a double equals. This is very important. The equality operator is a double equals. And I'm going to say if rolled double equals is equal to 1, then I want to show the number 1 dice. So I'm going to go to UI controls, and I'm going to set the image URL. What am I going to set the image URL of? Well, did I remember to rename this? If I point at this here, I'm going to design view, that is called image4, so that was bad practice there. I should really have immediately called this something like image result. Back to my code, and I can see that what I want to do is to change image result. And instead of being the logo that you saw there, I want to replace it with get image from image dice 1. And I'm just going to say else, and I'm going to change what it says here. I'm going to change this button here. So I'm going to set text, which is near the top. So I'm else set text of button roll to no picture, try again. Okay, let's try that out then. So I'm using logic here to ask questions and see what happens as a result. I'm going to click roll the dice, it rolled a 6, and this is changed to no picture, try again. I do a few more clicks, I'm hoping eventually to get a 1. and there the picture for 1 has appeared in this place. Okay, so it's all looking good. I'm going to reset that. Notice here we've got plus and minus buttons. If I click on plus, it will give me more else ifs. So I'm going to move this one to the bottom, and I'm going to make another picture here. I'm going to say if, so if image was rolled was 1, I show the 1 dice. If rolled is equal to 2, then I want to show it the 2 dice. So I'm going to go back here. I'm going to choose set image URL. I'm going to do it to image result because that's where I want the big picture to appear. And instead of this logo, I'm going to get the URL from dice number 2. And if I run this now, we should hopefully see that no picture, there's a 2, there's a 1, and so on. So hopefully you now can see enough. You just have to add some more if-elses. If 1, else if 2. We need else if 3, else if 4, else if 5. And if it's not 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, you could then just set it to 6 automatically. Or you might want to leave this text in just to deal with any strange eventualities. Okay. It would also be a good idea to maybe have a reset button to set this text back to its original. Maybe if you click on the dice itself, maybe it resets this to click to roll or something like that. Now there's plenty of opportunities to improve this application, but certainly the first thing to do, 3 more pictures of a dice, and then the logic here corrected to deal with all of the faces that are available. Good luck with that, and hopefully you will get yourself a working dice by the end of it.